Hey everybody, Mike McMahon here, artist of USAssassin, Graveyard Shift Volume 2 Supplemental, and to that way, whoop, right there, that's Mark Poulton, the
What's up,
Mark
guys?
Poulton, writer of Graveyard Shift. 1-2 Volume 3 is over $100,000 right now. That's on Indiegogo. Go check out USAssassin Second Chance on Indiegogo as well. Sea Dog and Codenamed Kill Switch, Pizza Tree, upcoming Viking Wolf,
Black Owl,
and
Loose Threads.
Loose Threads. That's the one I always forget. Oh Lord, man! Now all the lighting went away from my screen. That's what happens when you have like a decade and a half old laptop. I should have done this on my wife's Macintosh. That would have made more sense, but oh well. Here we are. Alrighty. So Mark is here with me. Do you hear like a
We were talking
noise?
wrestling figures.
Wrestling figures, yes. And unfortunately, the ones I was going to send to you, I left in the vans, and my wife just took the whole family up to Dubuque, so I can't show you those. But I showed pictures, or I sent pictures of you. They're the old WCW Bret Hart,
Yeah,
and Chris Benoit. And Bret Hart was always my guy for WWF, and then Sting was always my guy for WCW. And I have an NWO Wolfpack Sting somewhere with the red face paint and the baseball bat, the trench coat. I have no idea where I put it because I was going to try to find that for you, because those that don't know Mark, Eddie Winkler.
oh, cool.
I know how to. I did something. I did a thing. All right. Woohoo! All right. I'm so stupid. Those that don't know Mark, and if you don't, shame on you. Greatest personality in comics, nicest guy you'll ever meet, greatest writer in all of Comicsgate, much less the rest of the comic industry. Huge wrestling fan. I thought I was a pretty good wrestling fan. Mark is a huge wrestling fan. He has a glass case full of wrestling figures. And
3 of them.
3 now? Oh God, I think
Yeah.
there was only 1 last time I saw you, but that was like 10 years ago.
No, much to my wife's displeasure, it keeps growing and growing.
Hey, it beats a Coke habit, so that's all you got to tell her.
That's true. But yeah, we were talking because there's a guy on Twitter, Jeremy Padower. For those that don't know, he owns the toy company that has the license for the AEW figures.
Ooh.
And he's like trying to like build up the action figure collecting community. So like I don't know, every week or almost every day he's always posting, telling people to post a link to a collectible they want, and he'll pick one person and buy it for him and have it shipped to their house. So this morning he did it, and I posted a link to the new Bret Hart Goldberg 2-pack from Mattel that Ringside Collectibles has for sale. And I'm a huge WCW guy. That's my all-time favorite wrestling company. And the 2-pack is supposed to represent the time that Bret Hart called out Goldberg, and Goldberg came out and speared him and got knocked out. And then Bret Hart gets up and takes his shirt off, and he has the steel plate around.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Yeah, so that's what the figure represents. It comes with the steel plate that Bret has around his stomach. The only thing is, Bret was wearing denim shorts and I think an Edmonton Oilers jersey at the time, and they have him in his wrestling gear. So it's a little inaccurate, but I love that it came with steel plate.
Yeah, that was, Bret Hart's my favorite guy from the WWF days, and I just felt. I felt horrible for how they treated him on the way out. I understand both sides of the story. Bret is a traditionalist. He in WWF was going away from tradition and into exposing kayfabe and it being okay, which I kind of wish they never did. But it just seemed like WCW never knew what to do with him. And like he had like a United States title run for a little bit. He was part of the Sting Hogan match, which was kind of shoehorned, and that match was not as good as it could have been. I mean, didn't seem like Sting was really Sting, you know. I mean, that dude is normally like a brick shithouse, and he kind of showed up a little smaller than he normally was.
Yeah.
But it just never seemed like they knew what to do with Bret, and I thought Bret was finally gaining some steam. Not so much with the silver version of the NWO, but you know, with like his feud with Goldberg, and you know, I think they missed out on a chance to have a guy who is the excellence of execution go up against these big guys that have 10-second matches. And I think that could have been a really cool angle to, you know, maybe he works his way up, you know, have Bret go up against a lot of guys that are kind of like that are just, you know, kind of the muscle heads, and have short matches, and have him work his way up to Goldberg, and have him find out that maybe Goldberg wasn't as easy a mark as he thought, and make it a little bit more, you know, build the tension, you know. And I felt like so many missed opportunities with Bret, but the Goldberg steel plate, man, that was because like I watched it. I would watch WCW, and I would only watch WWF during the commercials of WCW. So when that happened, and you see both of them go down, you're like, what's going on? Did somebody actually get hurt? You know, and then you see Bret move, and Goldberg didn't. You're like, oh, what's going on? And then you see him, you know, pull the steel plate out, and you're like, going, yes. You know,
and if I remember, I think the crowd erupted too. They were all for it. They botched Bret Hart from the beginning. They should have. I know Bret probably wanted time off after WWE.
Yeah,
but man, they should have had him on the very next night after the screw job.
Oh yeah,
and that would have been must see TV. Instead, they had the NWO come out and sing the Canadian national anthem, and I was like, that's kind of stupid. But and then I think when Bret finally did debut, Owen died, so then he took more time off.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
it was just
horrible.
Yeah, it was just a series of bad events for Bret.
Yeah, and I felt bad because watching him come out to the ring and talk about, you know, he didn't really know what he was going to say. You know, he was still caught up in the tragedy of losing his brother and what he was going to do. And man, the crowd was horrible. They were like, come on, you know, get to the point or whatever. I mean, they were kind of shitty, but yeah, man, Bret Hart, I would have loved, and I know he's had 2 TV bonus. Yeah, yep. Except I wasn't playing Magic the Gathering, I was drawing, but yeah, I feel you, Eddie. But man, I know Bret talks about it, and I would have loved to see Bret Hart versus Kurt Angle. I mean, just 2 purebred wrestling machines go at it. I mean, that would have been a clinic. You know, that would have been one for. That could have been. I think that could have topped the Iron Man match between Bret and HBK, because I think that's still. I mean, to go 60 minutes and tell a story. Yeah. You know, I think that's as much disdain as I have for HBK. I still think that's one of the best matches in my mind, but
yeah.
Anywho.
I listened to Eric Bischoff's podcast, and the host that he does the show with, Conrad Thompson, he's asked him before. He's like, you know, Bret's whole run was like poorly handled, and Eric says that, you know, the Bret Hart you had in WWF wasn't the Bret that showed up to WCW. He just wasn't.
Yeah.
Into it. So I think the whole screw job just like
shattered
his face on the industry.
Yeah, it shattered him to his core. I mean, he got divorced because, I mean, not because of the screw job, but I'm sure it didn't help.
Yeah.
All the back, you know, I mean, the dude was a whipped dog. He, you know, you can only I don't know. The man lived and breathed wrestling. That was his thing, and to kind of destroy him on that level was kind of really cruel on Vince's part. And I understand why Vince did it, and I understand the whole business aspect of it. But you know, I've seen interviews with Brett, and I've seen interviews with Undertaker, and Undertaker said Brett would have dropped it to me. Brett would have dropped it to me, and then I would have dropped it to HBK. And I think it was because it was HBK that he, you know, put up a big stink about it. And I think, oh, let's see. Oh, all right. See you later, Eddie. Oh, hey, well, happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Yeah, I think that had a lot to do with those guys really just did not like each other. And I've been actually going into watching like the Jim Cornette YouTube channel. I love listening to that because that he gets so fired up. It's so hilarious.
Yeah.
And it's funny because he even said about the Montreal screw job. He goes, if I had a choice of who to screw over, he goes, I'd have screwed over HBK because that guy was a terror behind the scenes. He constantly caused issues with people, stole people's limelight. If he didn't want to do business, he would pretend to be sick or whatever. And, you know, he just, all these games, and you're just like, oh, man, what a piece of shit. You know, yeah, the dude can perform. He's a good in-ring performer, but man, I almost feel like, and this is horrible to say, I almost feel like his whole born again thing was a put on to get people back on his side because he had caused so much shit and because he had been so disliked for many, many things. I think he kind of had to have something to where like, well, you can't go against God, you know, and I'm on God's side now, so you guys have to be nice to me now. I almost feel like that's what it was, but I mean, that's just my assumption, and what do I know? But yeah, I miss wrestling. I don't get a chance to watch it. I don't have 4 kids, a job, drawing. I don't have time to do it or to pay any attention to it. I watch like the videos on YouTube. I see what you post about wrestling, and I try to keep, you know, at least a pinky finger on the pulse of what's going on. But it's hard, man. Now there's more content because there's AEW, there's Impact is still limping along, and WWE, which I kind of really could care less about WWE right now. I don't know. I think once you eliminated all the competition, the craziness that they would try to pull out of the hat to compete was gone. You know, they just did whatever. I don't know, kind of the innovation was gone. You know, I think the last time there was innovation was the Elimination Chamber. That's like, to me, that's like the last thing that was like, wow, where'd that come from? You know, and I know it hurts a lot of people and potentially ends lots of people's careers, but it was a cool idea, and I don't think I've seen anything since that has been close. But like I said, I don't get to watch a lot.
Yeah, well, we can wrap up the wrestling talk with this last bit. WWE had a pay-per-view last weekend, Extreme Rules, the horror show, and they had a match, eye for an eye, Seth Rollins against Rey Mysterio. Seth Rollins had blinded Rey Mysterio, so he has like his one eye hole and if his mask covered up. The winner doesn't win until he extracts the eye from the other person. So I'm watching this like, how are they going to do this? This is ridiculous. There's no way they're going to pull someone's eye out. I was wrong. They did it.
Wow.
Seth Rollins, when he made his entrance, he came out with these large pliers, and he didn't use them, but he took Rey Mysterio and put his eye socket on the corner of the steel steps and just pushed his head in, and Rey Mysterio screaming, and he's covering his face, and he turns around and faces Seth, and Seth like gets shocked, and then they show Ray with his hands like this, and they have a fake eye like sticking between his fingers.
Oh man. That's hilarious.
But it doesn't stop there. Seth Rollins is so like disgusted by it, he throws up.
Oh my goodness! Wow.
Yeah.
God, just
it was the craziest thing I've seen.
That is hilarious. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
What's going on? I keep losing my light. I don't know what's going on. Anywho, yeah, wrestling, man. It's that extra little bit of as a kid, it was kind of. Let's see if I can turn a light on. Maybe that level. Yeah. Hey.
There you go.
All right, I'm in Technicolor. Sweet. I'm so stupid. But yeah, man, wrestling. I think as a kid, if you're into like comics, that's like the closest we got growing up to real life superheroes. The flashy outfits, the entrances, the move sets, the storylines. I think that was the closest that, growing up in our age, our youth is the closest we got to live action superheroes on a weekly basis.
Yeah, I always said comics, pro wrestling, and heavy metal go hand in hand. They're all.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, like in my day, if you liked one, you liked all three.
That's right. Yeah, that's true. That's true. Oh my God. Shaking everything. Anywho. All right. So we are here to talk about USAssassin. And let me see if I can get this to work. I don't. Blue tattoo, new window. All right.
We're doing pretty good. We just got another backer. This is a second chance campaign. So we're just trying to sell through our remaining 300 copies of stock. I mean, like 2,500 people got the book for free. So, I'm hoping there's at least 300 more people out there that'll want the book.
Yeah. All right, let's try. All right. Did that come up?
Yep.
All right. So 79 backers. I know one of those backers was in the. Uh oh. 666%. Oh goodness.
Yeah, the mark of the beast.
Back to heavy metal.
Yep.
We're at $3,330. 79 backers. I believe 78 of those are copies of the book. One is a perk, I believe.
I think one person just made a donation.
Oh, nice.
I have a feeling it's a mistake. So I'm gonna have to email them and say, hey, you have to include shipping if you want the book.
All right, so we have 78 copies out of 300 claims. Let's play the trailer real quick. Let's do that.
No, I can't hear the volume, Mike.
Uh-oh. Why is it's on? I can hear it. Weird.
I wonder if it's because you have earphones in.
Oh. Yeah, let's try this again. Dun, 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 dun.
There you go.
Graveyard Shift writer and co-creator Mark Poulton and artist Mike McMahon. When former government super agent Joe Knight takes a job with a private security firm, thinks his days of superheroics are far behind him. However, when the team of metahumans he was hired to train double-cross him and keep his family hostage, he realizes old habits are hard to quit. USAssassin.
Yeah. I love that. I love the voiceover you did for that. That's awesome.
Thanks. I tried to like, if you remember renting a VHS tape and watching the previews for like the straight to video action films and stuff.
Yep. Yep. I remember those. Those are. Oh man, I miss physical media because I just think that I don't know.
I like
I
going
mean,
to a shop and discovering something I didn't know
yeah,
of. Yeah.
yeah. There used to be a shop here, and gosh, I can't remember what the name of it was because it's been gone for so long. But they used to sell. They used to have like the most obscure movies, like horror movies and action movies. But they also sold statues of like comic book properties and stuff like that, like the huge statues that were like super pricey back then. And man, that place was a gold mine of my wasted youth. All right, there's our cover, and everybody, these books are printed. They're done. So as soon as the campaign's done, they ship. There's a book plate that both Mark and I are going to sign, and that will go in since the COVID stuff is going on. We can't really fly out to each other to sign the books. So you'll have a really nice, polished looking book plate with some art on it. This is one of my favorite pages. I love the shadow part where he's putting the sword in. I just dig it. And then Kaflooey out the garage. I wish I could have made that a little more explosive, but I was so worried about the motorbike and how he was going to sit on it. And then we got my cursor sucks. All right, doop. All right, and there's one of our double page spreads, which is a perk. You could own this double page spread of Slither and USAssassin beating the piss out of each other. There's another cool shot in Vegas, and there's that's actually the artwork for our book plate. So it'll have the logo on it. It'll have all three of our signatures on it because Chase is going to sign them. I'm going to sign them.
Yeah, they should be coming to your house any day now.
Yeah, I'm going to keep an eye out, but mail over here has been really wonky. Like, my birthday was the 15th, and my wife ordered me from In Stock Trades. She ordered me the Absolute Edition of Wildcats.
Oh, nice.
It was supposed to be, it says it arrived in our mail center on the 16th. I still don't have it. She called the mail office, and they're like, because it initially was sent as UPS and then went to USPS, and they're like, that number doesn't exist. We have no record of it arriving here. And they're like, it starts with a 9, and USPS numbers don't start with a 9 or some stupid stuff. I'm like, somebody probably just stole it. You know, I'm just like, the one thing I get for my birthday, and well, here's an add-on, Sea Dog and Codename Kill Switch graphic novel by signed by Mark and Chase Poulton, art by Clint Helinski. It is a great, fun book. My son Michael has stolen my copy of it. He loves it. Everybody loves Sea Dog. Sea Dog is, I think, a breakaway creation by father and son team Chase and Mark, and or Mark and Chase. Chase is not your father. Add-on head sketch. I can make it look better than that, but $30 add-on head sketch. There's the awesome hockey jersey, which looks phenomenal. I love the bullet holes. It just totally lends to the feel of the book. Assassins and ninjas and stuff. There's original art add-ons. There's single pages. Every page that is up for this add-on tier, something exciting is happening in it. I've pulled all the exciting pages out for the backers. Same with the splash pages. And there's 3 double page spreads, of which this is one. There's another one like this, and then there's a double page spread, which is a big reveal for volume 2. So I will stop that.
Yeah, and volume 2 is your artwork is all done for it. We have a colorist on board. He's going to start probably next month. So hopefully, once this campaign is over with, we roll into volume 2. Hey Joe, what's up?
What's up, Joe? I had my last show with Joe last night on the Ott and Stuff show. Sean is going to be back next week, and I will be watching in the comfort of my home.
Yeah, Sean hit me up yesterday, and he said he wants to get back to doing the best friend show with me. So
Sweet.
yeah, it'll be good to talk to him. I mean, he and I we text all the time, message each other, but it'll be good to see his face.
Yeah. Every once in a while, I'll send him a message, check up on him. But it's, I mean, both you and I know it's hard to lose your father, and
yep,
and it's especially if you're close with them and whatnot. I mean, I personally didn't have a super close relationship with my dad, even though he was my inspiration for drawing because he was a cartoonist. But it still hurts, and it takes time to get over that. But sounds like he's on the mend from that, and can't wait to see him and Joe do their thing.
Yeah, they got a ton of great guests.
Aw. Thanks, Joe. You the best, man. But yeah, we were last night was the 16th episode, and I jokingly said that the show is now old enough to legally drive. And I'm proud of our little Bambino. So set it loose onto the world.
So speaking of like your little Bambino, how did you feel when you first got this in your hands?
Oh my goodness! You mean this?
Yeah.
Oh my God! I teared up. I was like, when these books came in, John, I think, overnighted a package to you and a package to me. And man, when this thing came out, I was amazed by how good it looks. I mean, this is his like, this was a free add-on for the Graveyard Shift Volume 2, and you guys did not scrimp on the quality versus, I mean, this is the same quality that the Graveyard Shift books are. Yeah. The cover stock, the paper stock. I mean, getting Andrew Dahlhaus to color it was a dream. Someday we Anthony George and I will be able to do a whole book together someday. We always joke back and forth. We're like, oh, because he's always like, I'm just so busy, man. He goes, I'm so busy. I got all the Graveyard Shift to color. And he did color my supplemental, didn't he?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm so stupid. It's all the fat choking my brain.
Anthony thought he was going to color USAssassin, and John was like, Mark, hire a color. He's too busy. I was like, okay. So I got Dahlhaus, and Dahlhaus is working on it. And then Z said, hey, I had some downtime, so I started coloring USAssassin. I was like, oh no.
Oh no. Oh.
Yeah. So I think he only did like a couple pages, or maybe he just like peeked in the folder and saw we already had a colorist, and he was like, oh crap.
Yeah. But
yeah, well,
it's always great to see your work like printed. I mean, Volume 1 is like 3 years of my life. Just a lot of stuff going on, and just because this was originally we were going to do separate issues.
Yeah.
So it was originally going to be 3 issues. So it being 80 pages was kind of an accident, because when you guys were ramping up for Graveyard Shift Volume 2, you and John were like, hey, how would you like it to be the last stretch goal, which I thought was super generous. I've said it many, many times. I will never be able to repay you guys, because that was a huge thing for you guys to do. Because, I mean, you guys flipped the bill for my stupid butt to be printed beautifully. colored beautifully, drawn, but written wonderfully. So, but yeah, man, when it came in, I kept flipping back and forth. My kids flipped back and forth through it, and it makes me super excited for to see Volume 2, because I know Volume 2, I feel like I got stronger as a sequential artist and just as an artist period, and I'm just, I don't know, I love everything about this. I love the logo is so, like, originally the logo was what it's like on the if people go to look at the hockey jersey here, that was the original logo. It was our play on the Batman logo, where it had like the swooshy Batman on top, and I think we discovered that would take up like half the cover because it's
it just
tall.
didn't fit.
Yeah. But man, this logo it's iconic. I mean, to me, it's as iconic as any other logo. Like the bold font of the USA, the assassin is all bloody. I mean, to me, I think it stands toe to toe with like seeing Spawn's logo, or any of those that, I don't know, just it really stands out. I'm just really was super impressed by it.
Yeah, shout out to James Dean Anderson, who designed it.
Oh, sweet. Well, thank you, James Dean Anderson. You rocked it, my sir.
Also, I want to give a shout out to Ryan Onorado. He did all the like pre-press stuff, putting the book together. Like, he designed our credits page, and the back cover, inside back cover, and the back cover. I mean, he does the pre-press stuff for Graveyard Shift too. So he's a good guy. He's also the artist of Pizza Tree with me and Chase. So.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Awesome. Yep.
Awesome. Yeah. See, for some reason I thought you drew Pizza Tree.
So I did draw. Well, I did draw Pizza Tree, but then I gave it to Ryan, and he was like, "Hey, I could just ink it in my style," because I wasn't really happy with the art. I felt like Pizza Tree deserved a better artist than me after I drew the entire book. And Ryan was like, "Oh, these pages are actually pretty good. How about I just ink it, but I ink it in my style?" So sweet. Yeah, so I think I got credits as layouts, and Ryan's the artist.
Yeah, and for those that don't know, Mark is a very, very good artist. I remember a couple years ago you'd come up with the card art for USAssassin, where Joe has his mask off and he's kind of looking to the side, and I think that was like something you were giving away at
conventions back when we first started working on the book, and it was going to be single issues. Yeah, I made up a trading card. We're going to have a new trading card though if we hit our stretch goal.
Hope so.
Yeah.
I saw that trading card art, and I remember sending you a message like, "Why do you need me?"
I'd still be drawing the book. I was actually working on new. I have like one more kids book, wrestling kids book to do for the publisher that I work with, and it's just been taking me forever to get it done. I drew 2 pages this morning, but I'm just so busy with the comic book stuff. Everything's taken off. So I mean, it's a good problem to have, but just finding time to draw anymore is really hard for me.
Yeah, I'm lucky that like today, Lisa, my wife, she took all 4 of the kids up to see her parents, and they're staying overnight. So because she knows that I want to do a stream with you, I wanted to get some work done. I'm actually on my shutdown from my day job, so I don't go back, I think, till the 12th of August. So I've got my block of time. I want to get as much art as I can done, and be able to like concentrate on it and not do show. There's the first go around, which I love the bottom panel, but then I felt that was more dynamic. I'm still working on it, but the panel's pretty much the same on the bottom, but perspectives were off, and I didn't really like the way the top panel was angled. It was really wonky, especially if you got somebody that's supposed to be pointing their finger, you know, you don't want them pointing down and look, I don't know, needed to be more in your face. So, you know, now I have more time to work on that and work on our extra. If we do a sellout, I am slowly chipping away at our mystery gift to everybody if we do a complete sellout. So man, that is daunting. I'm like, what did I do? What did I get myself into? But yeah, I kind of found my way to do them relatively quickly. So
Yeah.
and still look good. So, but we don't know what that's about.
Yeah. So you recently put you offered your graveyard shift supplemental pages up for sale.
Yeah. Our my scanner printer, it has decided that it'll turn on and stay on when it wants to.
Mm-hmm.
So it's dying. So I put that up. I already had the first page is sold, and I mailed that off yesterday.
Nice.
Yeah. It's I was trying to get on Ethan's show because I figured, you know, if Anna can get a sketch card to go for like $2,000, I would think Graveyard Shift physical artwork would go gangbusters. But
yeah,
you know, I've sent messages to people. I know that they've seen the messages, but I just figured I wasn't a big enough name, so I just put them out on Twitter, and it's on my Twitter wall. There's the first page, and then every comment underneath it is all the pages I have and what the prices are on them. But the first page is gone. Went to a very good home. I'm very happy that this gentleman, I don't want to say who it is, just in case, but it was real nice of him to do that. So slowly chipping away at it, and my beater car for work, luckily I'm off of work, it needs a new front tire and brakes. So, you know, if I can get these pages sold, it'll help pay for that kind of stuff. So just going to keep posting them, and you know, I might actually go to eBay maybe to put up a couple. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
But I know, you know, money's tight with everybody. So COVID has not helped anybody financially.
No.
Except for some of the bigger comic skate guys. But,
so I don't remember how it went, but how did you find out you were going to do a supplemental story with me and John? Did John tell you?
What originally happened was when you guys were doing volume 1 of Graveyard Shift, I was up at my in-laws.
Oh, right.
John had called me and he said, so, all right, Mark and I are doing it. We're going to do Graveyard Shift. We're going to test the waters with it. We're going to have an ash can that goes along with it. Do you want to do it? And I was like, hell yes, because as it's been discussed many times, I am uber Graveyard Shift fan from way back in the day. You know, John warned me about everything. He's like, well, I hope you don't have any aspirations of ever working for Marvel or DC. And I'm like, I will never work for Marvel or DC. I've come to grips with that years and years ago. I said, dude, if it's you guys, I'm on board, because you guys are two of my best friends that I don't get to see very often, but we have a long history together, all of us. And I said, yeah, I'm on board. But then when he gave me the time frame for it, it was at the same time that we were moving. And so stupidly, had I known, I took it upon myself to go, John, maybe, because he was looking at Nerd Wonder 2. He goes, because if this goes well, we're going to do a volume 2, and the next ash can will be either you or Nerd Wonder, depending on which one you choose. And I said I wanted the first one. But then we decided we were going to move, and I was like, you should probably get a hold of Nerd Wonder. I don't think with moving and all that stuff that I will be able to meet your deadline. Later on, I told my wife that story, and she's like, you are an idiot. I would have made it work so that you could have got that done. And I was like, because I saw, you know, I got a little, you know, every artist gets a little jealous of other people's success. And I saw how how great everybody responded to Graveyard Shift and how great everybody responded to Nerd Wonder, who is an amazing artist. She's really great and super nice. So she deserves everything. Not taking anything away from her. But when I saw that, I was kind of like, oh man, that could have been me if I just hadn't been stupid. But I think it worked out best because when you guys
definitely
volume 2, John was like, we're going to do a supplemental book, or one of you guys was like, we're going to do a supplemental book. 2 of the stories are going to be talent search. I was brain farting on the word, but yeah, you guys did talent search for two writers, 2 artists, and then you and I were going to do the 3rd story, which I actually got a hold of John. And I was like, I'm working with Mark, right? He goes, do you want to work with Mark? I was like, yes, I want to work with Mark, because at this point we had just ended volume 1 of USAssassin, and I think you were starting to write volume 2. And I'm just so I like comfort. I'm a creature of comfort. That's probably why I'm so fat. But I really like the way you write. I really like the way that you and I can collaborate, where I can be like, hey, this last panel, can I make it a splash page? You're like, yeah, sure. Hey, can I make this splash page a double page splash? And you're like, hey, as long as the numbers line up, That's a teaser for volume 2. But I wanted to work with you, and I thought it was great that we got to do Lone Star, who at the time was still in good graces with everybody. I got to draw the Graveyard Shift 3000. The only part that I was sad about was my favorite character to draw in Graveyard Shift is Mick, and anyone he wasn't in the story, and anyone who has volume 1 of Graveyard Shift, I did. John had paid me to do 2 pinups in the back, and you can see that there is definite love put on Mick. Not that I'm saying I skimped on the other 2, but you can definitely tell where I was having the most fun, which was Mick. And it was awesome that you guys put a black and white version and the colored version.
No,
pinups.
I love that. I love that pinup. I love how Mick looks. I love all the bats in the background.
Yeah.
I'm actually opening a Graveyard Shift merch store soon. Sweet. And that's going to be one of the prints in the store.
Awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, John actually owns the original art I sent because he paid for them. They're his. It was work for hire. So he has those 2 pinups, and I believe there was originally the 3 covers for USAssassin. You and Chase each have 1, and then John has the 3rd. And then I believe I sold the one that was supposed to be the trade, cover on Mike Miller's show last year.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was awesome. It's I look at it and I feel like it helped me become a better artist. Looking at the other guys that were there, man, I was like, oh. They really brought their A game, and I'm proud of what I did. As an artist, you always think you can do better. That's just the way it is. But yeah, I can say that I gotta draw a sequential Graveyard Shift, and I can die happy now.
and I think it's the only physical Graveyard Shift artwork that exists.
Really? Nobody else? Everybody else did digital?
Yeah, I think Render Contender and Todd both do digital. John works digital, so yeah, I'm pretty sure. I mean, some of the pinups and stuff we get are like done traditional, but yeah,
Sweet.
As far as interior artwork, yeah, it's the only original artwork around.
In your face, buy my stuff. It's the only physical art, guys. Come on.
Did you have a favorite character from Graveyard Shift 3000?
I mean, my favorite panel in the book involves Killer 99 just waffling Lone Star and into the ground. Yeah. But gosh, favorite character. I mean, I love all the analogies of which these characters are based off of. I love Pinhead. I love Michael Myers. Michael Myers is my favorite, absolute hands down favorite slasher. The Freddy analogy, the Ring analogy, the Chucky one, which I wish I would have made more terrifying, but I think it's kind of, I guess, still works because he's cutesy and he's trying to murder you. Gosh, I mean, Killer 99 is kind of one that just kind of sticks with me because he's the closest to my favorite.
Yeah.
But I did get to do, I believe it was written where Lilith is running from them, and she's hiding down a hallway, and the Freddy analogy comes down, and I wanted to do the same kind of thing from the first Nightmare on Elm Street, where his arms stretch out and he's scraping the walls.
Yeah.
So that's kind of my homage to Nightmare on Elm Street. Yeah, they're all cool. I like the pin. Sorry, I'm old. I can't remember their names.
Sorry.
The pinhead, the female pinhead, and you know, their ship is like a pyramid, and I tried to put as much detail into it. And then I see, of course, Aaron Alfici's version of it, and it's much better and much more. It doesn't look like just a bunch of. Mine looked more like a board cube, where it's just kind of like pipes and stuff everywhere, but his actually looks like it has function. You know, like it's very aesthetically pleasing. But that was fun to do because I remember when I drew the pyramid first, and then Castle Dracula next to it. I sent it to John. He's like, "Oh no! Castle Dracula is tiny compared to this." So Castle Dracula is huge, you know. The scale of it's been shown in volume 1 and 2 of Graveyard Shift. So to see it up against something that makes it look tiny means that you know, pyramid is just massive. So I hope I pulled that off well. But yeah, that thing took forever to draw.
No, I thought you did a great job. It's funny, like when I was thinking of future stuff for Graveyard Shift, I'm pretty sure it was a Youngblood that I was inspired by. They had that Youngblood 3000 storyline that never happened. And I was just thinking, oh, Graveyard Shift 3000. And I was like, well, what would the future version of Graveyard Shift look like? I was like, oh, it would be modern day horror characters. And John was like, hey, for future stuff, this is the things we need to start introducing the modern day monsters. And I was like, I'm already working on it. So I think we were on board for, like, he had a few suggestions. I had, like, in his eyes, Killer 99 is Michael Myers. Yeah. Originally I was thinking more Jason Voorhees. They're pretty similar. But I made him definitely more Michael Myers in tone, I think. And even like that one panel you draw where he's right behind Lilith. That's almost like Jamie Lee Curtis in the closet with Michael Myers in the opening.
Kind of, the lighting changes just subtly to where you see his mask.
That's my favorite panel in the whole story, I think.
You actually have that page, so
you gave it to me.
Yep. There, it's a splice though, because the original panel of him doing that, I don't think I think John didn't like it or something, and so I redid it and then in Photoshop moved it over on top. So you've got like the stat and the actual page.
Yeah. In the original version, Lilith has her head turned, so the back of her head is to you.
Yeah.
So when you look at it, her head is kind of like in his crotch.
That's what it was. I was like, well, hey, I mean, John can draw a fetus exploding out of a woman's stomach. I can't draw a simulated BJ. Come on.
Oh man, that's the thing I get the most hate mail about.
I know it's hard. I got 2 copies of Graveyard Shift, and one is kept away, but the one that is out for my kids to read, I took a black Sharpie and I went over it because that's a little much. It's a little much. And my kids are always like, "What's this?" It's like, "Oh, it's just a mistake. It's just a mistake." Because I don't want them to see that. Because I mean, there's nothing else in that book that a kid can't handle reading. I think that that was like, holy crap.
It really triggers some people.
Yeah. Well, you know, like I mean, not to get into history or whatever, but you know, my wife has a history of having lost a child at childbirth, and so I can see people who have had that happen in their life. That because like she saw it and she was like no. So I took my little sharpie and I sketched it out, and but yeah, I can see how but I mean sometimes
so John,
that whole thing of like, you know, bad publicity is still publicity, but you know, you got to kind of pick what's.
I never really talked to John and asked him about it, but I know he's always said, like when he talks about working with Rob, that everything Rob puts on the page is on purpose. And I feel like John did that just to get people to talk.
Yeah. I'm sure that's exactly what it was. And John has a very unique way of like, I'm very emotional. I can get really fired up. And there are times where I've talked to John and he's like, well, and he's very calm. Like, so when John gets fired up, you know he's pissed because normally he doesn't really get super fired up about stuff. But like I've talked to him and you know, he has such a way of looking at things that, you know, it makes me feel foolish for getting upset about things. He's like, well, you know, nothing specific that I can bring up, but I mean, he has a unique vision, and I think that's rare. I think he's done very well. You guys have both done very well with Graveyard Shift, and you know, his platform on YouTube is pretty huge, and you know, I think there was what was it? There was a show on Ethan's channel, I think, where it's like Ethan, Frega, John, and Cecil, and Frega comes on. He's like, "We're the 4 horsemen of CG," and I was like, there's nothing more perfect than that. But I mean, you know, you know, he works his butt off too, and I don't know where I'm going with this. I'm rambling. But yeah, I definitely think, you know, every move John makes is he knows what's going on. And you know, I think the majority of the people love that book, and I think there's probably a handful that, you know, probably don't like it just because of that panel, and you know, it's a trade-off, you know.
Yeah.
So, shut up. Oh my goodness, I ramble.
So we're getting close to an hour. We probably should wrap this up. Let's just one last time. Let's promote.
Oh yeah.
USAssassin.
It's real.
Yeah.
It exists.
You can't see because it's behind me, but I'm sitting in like a sea of boxes of USAssassin.
I would dive into that. I would dive into that like Scrooge McDuck, man.
Yeah.
I'd just be like,
and I feel bad. I sent everyone out their comps, but you only have like the copy that John sent you? 2 copies?
I just have one.
Oh, okay. But once this is over,
be careful.
once this is over, I'll split the remaining with you. So you should have quite a few. So
it'll be like Daffy Duck with the pearl. Mine. They're all mine. But yeah, the book is done. It is probably one of the biggest Comicscape books out there. It's 80 pages. A lot of books tap out at 50, 40. We are 80, and you're getting it for, you know, the same price as those other guys. And it's chock full of action. It's just so cool. I mean, there's just, you know, great characters. Bazooka Dog is so many people love Bazooka Dog, and people that haven't even got the book are like, I like Bazooka Dog. Bazooka Dog's a cool character, and I think, you know, you were very smart to bring in that aspect of a Bazooka Dog, because it doesn't make it kid friendly, but it, you know, it's not so serious. You know, it's like the ridiculous, the ridiculousness of the 80s, there's a dog with a bazooka in this book, I mean, it's really cool. And I think that appeals to people that, you as a writer are not afraid to step outside of a book that could be quote unquote just, completely serious all the time. Chase is a genius. That kid, Slither, man. That's not me, guys. That's all Chase. I just put it through the filter of my art hand, and but yeah,
Chase, man, he's amazing. He said he was going to draw something for my office, and he drew me this giant monster, and he was a snake man with 3 snakes as a tongue. Had chains around his wrists. He looked awesome, and I posted it on Facebook, and you were like, he needs to be in the book.
Yeah.
And then you drew your version. I was like, he made the book. He's in.
Yeah, sweet. Yeah, and I kind of simplified the costume after a while because drawing all those chains was a little hard.
And then I think you thought Bazooka Dog was a joke.
I did because then like script pages came in with Bazooka Dog, and I'm like going, oh shit. I was like, I thought he was joking, but we made it work. He's a Swiss Army dog. I mean, he just got. I think it's fun to have like. There's a couple of moments in volume 1 where like he confronts people, and all of a sudden, all these guns and stuff kind of pop out of him, and kind of lends the fact that he's not just a dog. He's kind of a cyber pooch. So
I liked Slither and Bazooka Dog so much that they had to. I mean, I don't want to spoil it, but they carry on into the next story. I mean, the team originally that Joe is assigned to train, they all turn on and become villains, except for Bazooka Dog.
Yeah,
I was like, I love Bazooka Dog too much. He needs to be a good guy.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, I just I pictured Joe as our Snake Eyes.
Yes.
And my favorite version of Snake Eyes is when he has Timber with him. So I was like, oh, Bazooka Dog's his Timber.
Yeah.
One day I'm gonna have to get someone to do a painting of Joe and Bazooka Dog in the old G.I. Joe card art style.
That would be awesome. That would be an awesome poster, man. I'd knock down a wall and put that up. That would be awesome. But yeah, I see like, it's wishful thinking, but man, if there were ever toys of these characters, Slither with like a push button on the back of the head with the snakes coming out, I could see happening. And I see Bazooka Dog being the one that sells out. Or you do like the Marvel thing where it's like you buy each figure and you build Slither, because he is quite a bit bigger than the other characters. But yeah, I mean, characters like Bazooka Dog lend to that more than just I don't know, it lends itself to toys. I mean, accessories. That dog is an accessory. He's gonna be like a head, legs, a tail, legs, and then the center's gonna have all these holes in them where you could put different weapons in them.
I had one idea. I don't know if I'll write it in. So if you're listening to this and eventually you see it in a USAssassin comic, this is where you heard it first. I just want like a standard machine gun to pop out of his back, and Joe to take the gun and just pick him up and just start firing, and he's holding Bazooka Dog in the air.
Oh God, I think that might work for Volume 4 with if that works out. With the subject matter and the topics, because I'm not gonna give anything. If you want to give stuff away, go ahead. I'm not gonna say anything about.
Yeah, I still haven't got any word on Volume 4, but yeah, why ruin it? We still Volume 2 is going to be out soon enough, the campaign anyway, and then I mean, by next month you should be well into Volume 3. Drawing.
I'm only like I think like 3 pages in. I'm working on. I got the first pages done. I redid my second page and then the double page spread. I had drawn out, and it wound up being too much face to face, like flat. So I kind of like changed. I'm not saying who's in it, but I will say the last page of volume 2, I wept a tear. And I was like, yes. So I was super excited. Volume 3 is going to have every ounce of artistic ability I have in it. I have to redraw every page. I will, to make it the best I can. But you guys are going to enjoy Volume 2. Volume 2 is just, man, it's a ride. It's a ride. It's
Yeah, it's just pure octane, over the top action. I think you and I know definitely I figured out what I wanted this book to be with the second volume. Maybe towards the end of the first volume, I started getting a clearer idea of what I want it to be, and volume 2 carries that, and volume 3 pushes it even further. But like talking about how you said you could see these guys being cool action figures, I was thinking that, and like, you know, I want these guys, like, for people to say, oh, these guys would make awesome action figures. Like every volume, Joe has a different costume.
Yep.
Like I remember the 90s X-Men toys where you had like Arctic Cable. Like there was never an Arctic Cable in the comic book, but
nope.
I want an Arctic Joe, or
So this ain't giving anything away, but this is page 1 of volume 3. Is Joe's outfit for volume 3, and it is 90s to the extreme. Pouches, little grenades on his shins. I mean, just everywhere I could put gear, I put gear. Bazooka Dog, same thing. I kind of blacked him out, stealth outfit with new fancy weapons. But yeah, it's Arctic Joe Knight.
Since he's in that black costume, that'll be the one where I have to get the Snake Eyes painting done.
Yeah. And what's fun is a lot of people have, and not to drag this show out more, but a lot of people have commented on the uniqueness of his look. That, for ninjas, he kind of stands out, has a unique design, that he's not just a same old. And I know there's specific things you wanted Joe to have. I believe the hood you wanted him to have. You wanted him to have the scarf thing, which I just, volume 3 just now put in. Yeah, I tried to make him look like a superhero, but at the same time, kind of a military assassin. And the volume 2 costume is my love letter to a couple of my favorite heroes, but I'm not going to spoil that. But yeah, I love the idea of constantly changing his outfit. I think that's really cool. I think it also kind of shows a progression of time for him. Like, the costume he has in this book is the one he's had forever. It's the one that he has been working in, retires in, and then comes out of retirement with. So I think it's really cool, especially, the idea of having a toy option. Keep thinking like they're toys, man. Just keep making cool new stuff, and I'll keep doing it.
But I think, I don't know. I think that's a good place to wrap it up on.
Yeah.
So if you're out there, if you're watching in replay, man, go check out USAssassin on Indiegogo. There's just the one reward, but when you go to check out, there's tons of add-ons, the hockey jersey, the sketch, the original artwork. I think there might be a couple copies of Sea Dog left. I limited it to 10 or so copies. So check it out, man. You won't regret it.
Here we go. Let's look at the campaign real quick one last time. Let's see, hit refresh. All right, still at 666% of 500, guys. Evil. Yeah, but we are $3,330, 79 backers. Appreciate every single one of you guys. And this book, man, this is a labor of love for both of us. This is 80s movies, 90s comics mashed together with a little bit of modern sensibility. You're not going to find in my mind, you're not going to find a book that is as badass as U.S. Assassin, because Mark and I, okay, Mark is a badass. I'm a fat ass, but anyway, check out our book. Give it a shot. I guarantee you, if you like Volume 1, you are going to love Volume 2, and then you'll love Volume. We're gonna hook you. We're gonna hook you like a heroin dealer. But I mean, every time you're gonna be like, I can't think they're gonna top it, and we're gonna top it. You know, you just watch us. We're gonna top it, and we're gonna eventually be one of those campaigns where you're gonna see us at six figures, young lady. Feel it in my bones. I think the concept is, I am put down as co-creator, but this is Mark. Mark is the idea guy behind pretty much every single book he does. I put in my 2 cents. Mark goes, and then like a smart writer does. And he let me design stuff pretty much the way I wanted, but I mean, without Mark, this book wouldn't exist. I wouldn't have anything to draw. And like I've said it many times, there can be a Caesar in CG, but there will only be one Godfather Poulton. You have the biggest chunk of books in CG that are out in print, that are coming out in print. I think people, and I hear people like Ethan talks about you constantly, about how good of a writer you are, because he really loves Volume 2 of Graveyard Shift. So that's,
I appreciate it.
That's high praise, and it's well-deserved praise. So if you like Mark's writing, if you like his creativity and his imagination, check out U.S. Assassin Volume 1. Volume 2 is just as great. It's got some nitro oxide put into it. Nitrous oxide. I'm so dumb. Tapped into it, and then Volume 3 is a rocket car. So hope you guys are along for the ride, and I guess we'll see you later.
Thanks for watching, guys.
Where can people find you, Mark? Where can people find you?
Oh, I'm on Twitter and Instagram at Coney Waves. It was the name of my first comic book. I have my own YouTube channel, Primetime Poulton. I do a wrestling show, La Pod Gods. I also do the Best Friend Show. I do a ton of unboxing videos, wrestling figures, crowdfunded comics that I back. And that's pretty much it, man. Coney Waves. There it is.
Now that's a thick book.
Yeah, that's like 240 pages.
Yeah, that was so awesome to get. All right, so I am MikeMahon74 on Twitter, U.S. Assassin fan page on Facebook. If you're watching this, you know where my YouTube channel is. And U.S. Assassin on Indiegogo. If you guys can't back it, don't want to back it, please share it, because the more eyes that are on it, the more copies are going to go out the door. And you're going to help us grow this book into a franchise. Not Shane Douglas, but we're going to be a franchise. So anyway, all right, I'm going to stop rambling, and we will see you guys later. Thank you so much for watching. See ya.
Thanks, guys.